Hello, and welcome back to Unapologetically Wild with me, Kadi Sonntag. This week's episode, I want to talk about something I've been thinking about a lot. And you'll understand why as I go through the episode. It's about the fact that you don't need more motivation. You need to become someone you can rely on. Why this is so important is because a lot of time we think we have to do all the things and be the most successful person or fill our days with busy work or things that keep us busy. And unless they're moving the needle in whatever we want to do moving forward, it isn't really doing anything for you. And I've been thinking about this all week. The difference between wanting something and actually becoming the person who follows through with it. Here's the thing. You can say that you want to do something. I'm going to give you an example from my week. The other week I went for a run and I felt pretty horrendous and realized that I have not run in a while. I have been working on being stronger and I achieved that and then felt a little lost in what I wanted to do physically next. And lucky enough, I can go to the gym and still work out, but I like to have a goal. And so recently I decided that I wanted to run more due to the fact that I ran and felt not great and was like, okay, we're coming into the warm months and I would like to do more conditioning work, which includes running. So the thing with this is running is not my first choice. If you know me well, the first thing I will pick to do if I have a choice in fitness is go and lift something heavy. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just my thing. And I decided that I wanted to run. So instead of making this grand declaration of being like, I'm going to run 5 times a week and do all these things, I decided that I would do it on a day when I felt good. I was going to go for a 30-minute run. Now, that meant 15 minutes out, 15 minutes back. I also said to myself, if you walk in it, fine. If you run the whole way, great. There's no expectation here. You're just going to run for 30 minutes. And it was a beautiful day on Monday. So I decided I felt really good and I wanted to go for a run. I was like, oh my gosh, it's a beautiful day. I'm going to go to the beach. Because recently I went to the beach with my dog and I felt so much calmer. Water for me is like the most calming energy. And so I was like, I'll go for a run to the beach or at the beach. Anyway, I get there, forgetting that if you run from Merewether Beach, if you know Newcastle, up past Bar Beach to the top, then it is a bit of a run and also a mad hill. Anyway, I'm running up this hill being like, why did I decide to run here on my first run back? Anyway, I kind of got into it and I just looked at the water and I was not worried about the time, which was very helpful. I didn't have a watch, so I ended up using Strava. Now, apparently it's not a thing unless you use Strava. So I used Strava for maybe like the 5th time in my life. And so I've got my phone, I'm running along and I'm like, I want to get to the top. So I was like, oh, I'll go out 15 minutes. And I was like, oh, it'll take me a little bit longer to get to the top. Also, if I'm going to run downhill on the way back, it'll be quicker to get to that 15 minutes on the way down than it would have going up. So if I go a little longer on the way up, it'll be perfect to go back down. Anyway, by the time I'm running down, obviously much better and I'm loving it, and I go, oh my gosh, I'm so close to 5Ks. I may as well do 5K. And, the old me did have a moment where it was like, you could do this in way under 30 minutes for 4 or 5Ks easily. And so I had to let that thought go and be like, we're just returning to our running again. There's no pressure. This is the small action we're taking today to start running again. And I made a decision that I would run twice a week. One 30-minute run, maybe it'll extend. Obviously it was a bit longer for, I think it was like 33 minutes or something. And for this run, because I decided to go 5Ks at the last minute when I got to the end and realized I didn't have that much left. So I did some little laps around some streets and it felt really good. And then I went and dunked into the water. I had no swimmers, by the way, and I just decided, you know what? I'm going to go for a bloody swim. I did overthink it. Those of you who know me will understand that I did overthink this, being like, oh, should I go in my tights? Is that weird? And then I was like, you know what? It looks so fucking good and it's such a nice day. So I just dived straight in. And it was the best life decision ever. And I, that day, had motivation to go for a run, right? And though I had committed to myself on the weekend that I would choose a day to run a longer run, whatever that looks like, and I would choose a day to do sprints. That day hasn't come yet, but it will either be tomorrow or Friday. Could be Saturday, worst case scenario. But it was so good. And it helped me feel really good to do it, complete it. And then the next day I was like, oh, I can go and do upper body at the gym. And so it gave me a beautiful roll-on effect. And I knew I'd have a rest day today. And I set on my week so that intentionally I give myself space so that I have capacity to change my program. And also, I know that I'm not always going to be motivated. So I need to know that I'm going to give myself the ability to stick to what I want to do. Because here's the thing. What I've learned the most is the biggest thing that I do and don't do helps me trust myself more. So I can say I want to start running and one week I won't go running. What I'm doing is I'm breaking trust with myself. And there's so many things I don't want to do. This week I didn't want to make a reel. And I did actually compromise myself and be like, I was going to make it one day and then I ended up making it today. It was yesterday I was meant to make it. Instead, I went live, I posted, I did all these other things, but I didn't commit to making my reel. Part of me is still annoyed, but that's okay. I made it today. I recommitted to myself. You know, there's things like I wanted to get on and sell more. So I decided to get over the fact that it might be weird and people might not like it and all these things and be seen in selling more, in talking more, in talking into my offer of my 30-day challenge, which I've been developing and I'm so obsessed with. It's going to be the most incredible thing. And it's the thing that has also taught me to remember that the small actions that move the needle, like reaching out to people that have asked me about programs and being constantly just making sure that, you know, if it's a yes for them, then they have everything they need to move forward, right? And not being worried about if they eventually are like, oh no, this isn't for me. Then you're like, cool, great, thanks so much. But it's putting yourself out there and constantly selling and being seen and opening yourself to new ways of being convicted in the fact that I know you join this 30-day challenge, it will transform your life. Like I cannot express it enough because every time I do something when I don't want to, or I do the thing that I've had on my to-do list for ages, and it's normally not the thing that it's not the busy work, right? Like there's so much on my list that I'll do that's actually not very helpful to moving me forward. I'm really good at it. This is why I'm running a challenge to help women look at the thing that they're not doing. And for me, sometimes that's the boundary I'm not setting. The energy I'm putting into something that's not actually serving me to move forward into the thing that I want to go into. Sometimes it's literally sitting and watching Virgin River and ignoring the fact that I've got to do a podcast today or something else, right? And It's these things when if I don't do the thing I say I was going to do, I lose trust in me. It actually has nothing to do with the outside world. I lose the trust in myself to honor what I say I'm going to do. And there's a piece here too where I had to learn that I can't write 8,000 things down on my daily to-do list because that is ridiculous. And also, I don't want to be burnt out or unable to function. And there are some days when I revise it when I wake up. Today I slept in. I always sleep in on Wednesday. It's my favorite because I work a late night on a Tuesday and I have a really early start on a Tuesday. So I'm pretty tired. And so I give myself the chance to sleep in so I've got some energy so I can do things in the day. But most of the time, Wednesdays becomes like a bit of a reset of the house day. And so I honor that and know that maybe I won't get as much business stuff done today, but I will commit to a couple of things that I'll definitely get done. Sometimes I have to give myself a time so I get it done. Other times I wait till I get to the point where there's no other option and I have to get it done because I have to be somewhere else, right? We all do it. And so, sometimes it's catching myself and saying like, turn the TV off, Katie, it's time for you to do the thing. And sometimes it's like, okay, you've done a lot of things. It's time for you to have a break. Because the biggest things that come through me, especially for business, are normally when I'm quiet and doing nothing. Or maybe when I'm like sitting in ceremony, something will come through and I'm like, oh my God, this is fucking awesome. That's how I build. And that's how I get to be seen and, put myself out there and grow. These are all skills that I'm continuously learning. And the more I build self-trust in myself to do it and stay with a campaign and post every day in selling and doing the thing, the better I get, right? And so for me, self-leadership has not become a thing where you're constantly productive because that's exactly what I used to do. I didn't get any further forward if the job wasn't actually allowing me to move the needle. Because if I was just doing busy work, I wasn't actually moving forward and where I was going. But when I chose to do intentional things, being like, cool, let me look at my day. What are the things that are going to move the needle first? What are those pieces? Then we can add the other work if I've got energy and time. And I commit to a few things a day that I really want to get done so that I honor myself, trust myself to know that I'm going to show up for me. It's not about other people. It's about me constantly learning and growing in my own self-leadership. And being productive every second is not how I see leadership. If you don't have time to rest and recuperate and honor what you need, you can't show up powerfully for others. I truly believe that, and I've seen that in my many years in the military. When leaders were so consumed and had so much going on with their own personal lives or maybe in army, and it ended up affecting their leadership skills. It didn't mean they're a bad leader. Some maybe. But others, it was due to the fact that they weren't in a good place themselves. So when we're not in a good place, we don't lead well. I've done it too. I was burnt out leading as well and would not have been my best leadership moment, I can tell you. And so there's a difference between resting intentionally and avoiding. And look, we all do both, right? Or we just avoid. I'm guilty as well, right? And it's, if you're resting intentionally, you're making time and space to be like, okay, for the next hour, I'm going to watch Virgin River, an episode, to give myself a rest. Or I'm going to sit in ceremony. Or I'm going to go and sit outside with a coffee looking at the trees and the birds. If you're intentionally resting, whatever that looks like, it doesn't have to be anything in particular, right? Like you could even make it scrolling on social media if that's something that you really want to do. But if you're avoiding the thing that you actually want to do, by scrolling on social media, by watching TV, by, all of these other things, then it's a totally different thing, right? Because avoidance means that you're trying to like not do the thing. Maybe you're scared. Maybe it's too much. I see that a lot. Sometimes people put such a big piece and they're like, I want to get all this done. And I'm like, if you just chopped it into smaller bites, you might actually be able to do the thing. So when you have something, ask yourself why you're avoiding it. You can intentionally rest and decide that you're going to take an hour to have a break, to look after yourself, to do something for you longer if you need it. Especially if you've been super busy. Sometimes we can get really busy for hours and we're just so immersed and we love something. But sometimes we need all those hours back to rest, to then honor ourselves again. And there's nothing wrong with that because motivation comes and goes, right? We can't rely on motivation. It's not a thing. But keeping small promises to yourself will build that self-trust. So I want to give you 3 practical things that help me in my life build self-trust. One is make the action smaller. And what I mean by that is stop making it about changing your life, like this huge action, like I'm going to go run a marathon when I haven't been running for 6 months to a year. Exaggeration. I've done a few things, but like that's what I mean. Like it's not a change your life task. It starts with maybe if you haven't been running at all, I'm lucky I have a fitness background, so I've been moving and running and workouts and different other things. It's not running as a going after a goal in running. Start by walking. Start by going for a 1K jog or a 20-minute walk jog. So you like walk for a bit, jog for a bit, walk for a bit, jog, 1 minute on, 1 minute off, right? Make it a small, attainable goal, even for 10 minutes. It doesn't have to be that long. Because the smaller you make it, the more likely you're going to do it and you're not going to be overwhelmed by it with anxiety. Send the message, make the post. Even if making the post is filming a video so that you can then put it up or taking a photo or whatever it is that you want to put up. Do the thing, but make it smaller. Number 2, stop waiting for the emotional state. You don't need to feel inspired first. Sometimes the energy comes after you start. Now, the other day I was telling you about my run and I was inspired. Yesterday I was not inspired to make a reel, and it was due to I built the anxiety around I didn't know what B-roll I wanted to use. That was literally the crux of it. And so here's the thing. Like I said before, make the action smaller. Literally yesterday, I then decided to pick 2 videos that I liked and I left them in edits. So today, when I made the reel, I already had 2 videos to choose from, picked one, and it was much easier. That was my small action. That was me making it smaller. And then I didn't wait till I felt good about it. I just made the reel that I had already got together. I knew what I was going to put on the screen. I knew what the caption was. And so then I created the reel. Everything was there. I just had to put it together. Amazing, right? Little parts I did each day to make it easier for me to put it together. And, some days you will feel inspired. Some days you'll feel fucking into it and you'll be like, yes. And in business, sometimes that is a thing for me because of my, I'm a generator, and if it lights me up, it lights everyone else up, right? And I love this. I love that I get to teach this sort of self-leadership and I get to keep reminding myself of it as well. That's the best thing about this 30-day challenge is I get to also step into all these pieces. And they're all things I've done with my clients and myself in my life so I can keep moving forward powerfully in whatever it is that I'm trying to achieve. Now I'm going to give you the third one. So first we had make the action smaller. Then we had stop waiting for you to be motivated or the emotional state or to feel excited about it. Not always going to happen. And number 3, keep one promise today. Not 8,000. Ask yourself, what is the one thing that I said that I wanted that I can actually follow through on today? And like I said, if you need to make that into a step you do, maybe you put the reel together, maybe you do the B-roll today, like you take a video. Tomorrow you work out what you want to write on the screen. The next day you work out what your caption's going to be. The next day you post it, right? Like it can be broken down into that small thing. If it's just not a natural thing for you to do all the time, that's totally okay, right? Stop waiting for you to feel excited about it and chunk it down so it's easier to swallow. And keep the promise. What is a one thing today? Not 8,000, one thing. It's going to move the needle, that's going to get it done. And this is a huge part of why I created the challenge, right? Because it is the thing that has changed my life is the small steps in self-leadership that have allowed me to have ripple effects in the rest of my life. Huge part of why I created this 30-day challenge. I want you to feel the effects of making a small decision every day intentionally. And some of them will have actions, right? Some of them may be for you to think about. Some of them may be doing. Some of them may be, saying no or doing something and being supported in a group of people that are doing it too, right? That want to move their life forward in this way as well. So it's not about completely overhauling your life, right? Like, let's be honest, we could look at every facet of your life. And I remember doing this with Tony Robbins, where there's like, where is your life now? Give it a number. And you do like all the parts, right? So relationship, business, all of the things, health. And you're like, where am I now? Where do I want to get to? And you have to work out what's the middle. Now, the universe will divinely bring things in. However, if you're not making little small steps and actions to moving towards it, how does the universe know what you want? So it doesn't mean that it won't take you on a beautiful divine path to get there. Probably will. But if you're not making some steps, it's like if I was like, I want to run a marathon and I don't actually ever run. Ridiculous. I want a post to go out to the world, but I never actually put it together. What's going to happen? So it's not about overhauling your life. It's about closing the gap. And that's the gap, right? That I was saying, like, this is where I am now. This is where I want to get to. Let's close the gap to get there. Because once you get there and you reevaluate your life again, I remember laughing when he was saying this because he's like, you're probably going to give that a number and then you're going to have another gap because you'll have another goal and there'll be a new place to get to. Always is, right? We're always chasing things, but we get to celebrate along the way. And we get to close the gap between what you say you want and how you're actually living. Because we know that the actions we take every day and the words we say and are all going to impact where we get to. The things that we're manifesting, the things that we're asking for in our life, the things that we actually want. So if this is something that like truly lights you up and you want to do this too, we start next week on Tuesday, on the 1st of September. And I'll put the details in the show notes below. This is going to be the most beautiful thing. Imagine being in a group of women who are also there to support each other, who want to make these small moves every day, which will take less than 5 minutes, and these actions that are actually going to allow themselves to close the gap and move forward into what they truly want. How powerful is that? And be celebrated and supported while doing it. So fucking powerful. So if you're ready to lead your life, that's the challenge name, then We start on the 1st of September. It's 30 days for $30. Like it's $1 a day to literally transform your life by doing small steps that are actually going to move you forward and close the gap. It's up to you. You're the only one that can do it for you, and I would love to support you in it. So remember your 3 practical steps in how to become someone you can rely on, you can trust, right? Build more self-trust in you. You deserve it. And if you want to come and be a part of the women who are moving forward in this, come and join my 30-day challenge. It is going to be so powerful. If you would like a VIP option, there is one. It is for the women who would like some intuitive guidance, and you will receive intuitive guidance every day if you join the VIP option. So that is also there if you feel called to have that. I would love to support you in this challenge, and I would love to see how much you can transform your life in 30 days. You will be amazing. No matter what you do, no matter where you are, I want you to remember how incredible you are. And it doesn't take that long to change the course of your life and to close the gap. I love you. I hope you have a magical, magical day. Make sure if you love this, please share it with someone who you think it will serve. Like, comment anything that came up for you. If you want to receive a link to the challenge, then make sure you come onto my Instagram, comment me lead or DM me lead, and I will send it to you personally, the link. If you don't know what my Instagram is, it's Kadi Sonntag. And I have Facebook, all the things, so come and check it out. If you're not already part of my Holistic Woman community on Facebook, please come and join. It's completely free. And a great place to listen to this is on Patreon. So if you don't know, I have actually created an incredible group called The Wild Insider, and I have put already a extra episode in there. You can listen to the podcast on that platform. Every episode is already uploaded for free. And there's an extra episode inside. And in September, I'm going to be doing a Q&A for anyone who is in there. If you have any questions, anything you've ever wanted to ask me, anything you want clarity on, it is perfect for that. So please come and join us. It is a $5 investment per month, and it's going to be absolutely exciting next month. And you already have an episode to listen to in there. So a bonus episode that no one else has access to. So it's very, very exciting. I hope to see you either in the Wild Insider, or somewhere on my social media or in the comments. Please, like I said, share it, subscribe. I would love to have you subscribe so you get the episode come up as soon as it gets uploaded. And I hope you just have the most magical, magical day. Bye.